It's the game between Bibisara Assaubayeva and Hou Yifan at the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League. Bibisara has played an incredible tournament. She is unbeaten until now, and Hou Yifan, the world #1 player, will be interesting to see. The video is slightly blue and is a little bit patchy at this moment, but it'll get fine in a few moves. So bear with us. Pawn to e4 by Bibisara, c5, knight to f3, d6, and we have the open Sicilian. Knight takes, knight comes out to f6, knight c3, and we have the classical Sicilian. The bishop goes to g5, and now bd7 played by Hou Yifan. We have queen coming up to d2, pawn to a6, and long castle, e6 played here by Yifan, and you have f3. Sometimes white can also play f4 here, f4, f3, both playable, bishop e7, and now king goes to b1. Hou Yifan starts expanding on the queen side with pawn to b5, and Bibisara takes, bishop takes, and now h4 is a very normal common move here. She takes on f6, slightly dubious move here, I must say, because and there we have the video is now normal, because pawn takes is possible, but here gives black an additional option of taking with the bishop, which Hou Yifan is thinking about, and she does it. And the point now is, if you don't take the pawn here, then why did you give up your bishop? You must take it. So she takes, queen d6, rook d6, and rook to c8. So there's compensation because the knight is hanging. Bibisara comes back, rook d1, and now king e7. One plan can be knight e2, but black is very well coordinated, bringing the rook in quickly. So bishop d3 played with the idea of knight e2, and Hou Yifan takes on c3 and bishop d7. She's attacking here, but the king comes up and defends the pawn. The rook comes up to c5, trying to double down the c file here. a4 played. You can take ba4, that's an interesting move, but she goes rook b8. She's going after the king here, and ab5, bishop takes b5. Now very important to move the king away. That's one of the key moves here. Or she takes, and this is a huge moment in the game. Look at how Hou Yifan has gone into a think, but this is already winning because rook takes b5. Think about this now. If you go to the a file, rook a5 is mate. So king c1, rook b1 check, king d2, rook d8 check, king e2. You take twice on d1, and now you reach this pawn endgame. And how do you assess this pawn endgame? You bring your king up. Let's say white brings the king to c1, king c5, king b2, and now you slowly and steadily try to clamp down this position. So h4, you can go h5, g3, you can go f6. Sooner or later, white is going to run out of moves, and then you use your a pawn and then pick up all these pawns here. So this entire line that we calculated right now, Yifan calculates it, takes, check, quickly gets here, rook takes d1, rook takes d1, rook takes, king takes, and king d6. Insane. The speed at which she took 6 minutes to calculate that entire line, but then she's blitzing out her moves. King d3, e5 played here, and she has it all figured out. c4, no, she goes h4 here, Bibisara, and h5 makes a lot of sense to limit these pawns. g4 played, g6, and now g5 gaining space, but black can now start pushing the queenside pawns. a5 on the board, c4, king b4 played, And the problem now is that I'm going simply pushing. This was an important move here. King b4, c5, king takes c5, king c3, a4 played, and now the king tries to stop, but king b4, and you have the outside passer. You're going to give a check, king a2, king c3, and then just simply round up all of these pawns. Amazing game by Hou Yifan, giving Bibisara her first loss of the Global Chess League. What was very impressive is that when she took on b5 there, Bibisara, Hou Yifan sat down and calculated the entire king and pawn endgame to perfection.